Good morning and welcome back to another episode of The Point for today at Thursday, August 17th. Right now we're seeing U.S. futures a little bit lower this morning with the S&P down a little over 6 points after yesterday saw another quiet day that ended in small gains. Investors are staying on their toes after the Fed's minutes showed members were split on the inflation outlook. Several indicated risks could be toward the downside, while others were worried about overestimating the inflation target. Most European indexes are lower this morning, as the Stoxx Europe 600 index fell 0.1%, led by a 0.3% drop in the UK, while Germany and France also saw minor losses with declines in banking shares. UK retail sales beat expectations in July, mainly from an increase in food sales, although the European Central Bank's minutes that were just released showed officials were concerned over the strength of the euro currency. The MSCI Asia Pacific Index moved 0.5% higher overnight, while Japan's TOPIX Index lost a small 0.1%. Hong Kong also saw small losses, although gains in Shanghai and Korea were over 0.5%. U.S. 10-year yields have stayed steady, currently at 2.24%, while European bonds didn't see much movement, with Britain's climbing 1 basis point as Germany's fell less than 1 to 0.44%. Alibaba reported earnings this morning and beat estimates as revenue rose 56% to 50.2 billion won compared to estimates of 47.9 as Chinese consumers thrive for cheap, high-quality online goods, and Walmart is also due this morning before the bell. Crude oil continues its downward push, falling 0.3% to $46.65 per barrel, which is its lowest point in over 3 weeks. Gold climbed 0.1%, bringing its advance on the year over 11%. Other commodities saw huge gains as zinc hit a 10-year high over $3,000 a metric ton, while aluminum climbed to a 6-year high as iron ore futures gained 5.1%. Capacity curbs in China are aiding the rally, as is optimism over prospects of global growth. The dollar climbed a bit higher as the euro fell 0.6% to its weakest point in 3 weeks, while the pound saw its weakest in 5 weeks, dropping 0.2%. The yen strengthened against the dollar after the release of the Fed minutes. More question marks begin to surround Washington after President Trump disbanded his 2 business advisory councils yesterday as American business leaders attempt to distance themselves from him. Today, we see initial jobless claims due at 8:30, along with the Philadelphia Fed Business Outlook Survey. And at 9:15, we will see a report on industrial production. Investors' eyes will be kept closely on events in Washington, reports from the Fed that may lead to clues on inflation in the balance sheet as earnings will continue to be pumped out. In sports, we saw the Pirates lost again, this time 7-6 to the Brewers, as their playoff hopes begin to fade away. They currently sit 5.5 games behind the Cubs, but they do have a ton of crucial divisional games upcoming, beginning with a 4-game stand against the Cardinals that may be able to give them some hope. The Edmonton Oilers signed 21-year-old Leon Draisaitl to an 8-year, $68 million contract after the 21-year-old posted 77 points last season alongside Connor McDavid. Definitely a good thing that he got him signed, but they will probably run into some salary cap issues, not this year, but in the years after. And former Penguins center Matt Cullen has rejoined the Minnesota Wild on a 1-year contract, leaving the Penguins with a few options for a fourth-line center. That is it for us today on The Point for Thursday, August 17th, and we will see you tomorrow.